Tanzanian soldier who's had enough of the lies, the theft, and the in the hands of those who dare call themselves leaders. On October 4th, a Tanzanian soldier, Captain John Charles Tesha, grabbed a camera, stared into the abyss, and unleashed a bombshell that's got the ruling Chama Cha Mapinduzi, CCM, quaking in their looted mansions. This isn't some quiet whistleblower leaking memos. This is a serving officer in the Tanzania People's Defense Force, TPDF, a weapons instructor no less, calling out a deep state of crooks, naming former President Jakaya Kikwete, Tycoon Rostam Aziz, even President Samia Suluhu's own son, Abdul, as thieves who've hijacked the nation. He's not begging for reform. He's demanding the military step in to stop the chaos, to save Tanzania from a clique that's bled it dry. This is a five-alarm fire, my people. A soldier risking his life to scream what millions whisper. The system's rotten, the people are starving, and if Samia doesn't wake up, Tanzania's next in line for the military takeovers torching West Africa. Buckle up, because this story's a gut punch, and it's coming for every corrupt leader from Dar to Dakar. Before I break it all down, brothers and sisters, let's listen to a part of this speech that has got the internet shaking. My name is Captain Tesha, an officer from the Tanzanian People's Army. That is, the Military Aviation School. First of all, I would like to thank the Almighty God, the creator of heaven and earth, for giving me life and health until this time when I am talking to you, my fellow Tanzanians, with a great pain in my heart. Whether this is going on in our country, I have tried to reflect a lot. Until the next time, I reach to share with God that while I see a very big danger that is in front of us as a nation, it wasn't easy at all for me until today, Tanzanians. Seeing me in front of you talking about these things was not easy, because I know our military procedures, how difficult they were, especially for things like this. It was not easy at all to think about it until I decided to do this. For that reason, I was now aware of the risk. In our system, I do not care about those risks in any way. I'm not afraid of anyone. I'm not afraid of anyone. But respect for my people will remain there. So I have been able to write a letter to my superiors at the CDF and others to explain to them that I am very dissatisfied with our nation. So it is better as an army to take action very quickly before it is too late. Because the only faith left for Tanzanians is their army. Although sometimes politicians try to involve our army in politics, use it to achieve their goals. But we have remained strong, and we still continue to be trusted by Tanzanians. So seeing that and seeing the current situation, the only part of Tanzanians is in their army. So I advise our army to be able to take over the country very quickly, very quickly, very quickly, and put things right rather than forcing them to move forward, especially in this election issue. After doing that, we can listen to the citizens in their information, praying. Before we go further, I was praying that there is one thing we are trying to look at here, but it can give us a good light for other things that I will explain in the future. There is one thing called deep state. It is a group of people with great influence within the government or government institutions that make decisions to push policies secretly without involving or relying on the consent of the public or leaders who are legally in power. Often in this, it is believed that it continues to hold power. Back from where I left, on that fateful October day, Captain Tesha went live on YouTube, TikTok, WhatsApp, platforms where Africa's youth fight their battles, and for over an hour he poured out the truth like molten lava. Corruption, it's a beast, devouring billions from Tanzania's gold mines, coalfields, ports, while kids in Tanga scavenge for scraps. Electoral fraud? He's got the receipts. The National Electoral Commission, NEC, rigging results. NIDA's voter ID system weaponised to silence opposition strongholds. Votes stolen with the audacity of colonial tax collectors. Human rights abuses. He lays them bare. Abductions of activists, killings of critics, Maasai families in Ngorongoro and Loliondo herded off their lands for foreign safari barons. And then, the bombshell that's got Dar es Salaam whispering in fear, the death of former President John Pombe Magufuli in 2021. Tesha doesn't mince words. He calls it a hit, orchestrated by CCM's inner circle with Kikwete's shadow looming large, backed by whispers from insiders like Humphrey Polpole, who's been spilling secrets about hit squads operating from Dodoma to Dubai. This isn't just one soldier's rant. It's the cry of a nation pushed to the edge of a cliff. Tesha speaks for the silent majority in the barracks, the soldiers who clench their fists when ordered to patrol streets not to protect, but to scare. Many in the force are burning with this anger, he says, his voice cracking with the weight of being the one to break ranks. They're not brave enough to speak. They fear for their wives, their kids, their jobs, their lives. That's the pulse of Tanzania's crisis, my friends. When a captain risks court-martial, a firing squad, or worse, to call out his government, the rope's so deep it's choking the nation's heart. He's exhausted, bone-weary from saluting thieves who drive Land Cruisers while kids in Mwanza scavenge dumps for food. He's seen the deep state, Kikwete, Aziz, Abdul, Mombo, sell off Tanzania's ports to Chinese firms, its mines to Canadian conglomerates, its soul to whoever pays the most. He's watched comrades whisper in the mess hall, their trust in the system crumbling like dry ugali. The TPDF, still trusted by 60.9% of Tanzanians per a 2020 Afrobarometer survey, is the last pillar standing. Pillar cracks. If soldiers become pawns for CCM's dirty games, Tanzania's finished. His call for the military to step in to avert chaos and restore constitutional order is a desperate plea to save a sinking ship, echoing Mwalimu Julius Nyerere's warning. If we don't stand against oppression, thugs will rule. Let's zoom out, because this isn't just Tanzania's fight, it's Africa's. West Africa's been ablaze with the same rage. Mali's 2020 coup toppled Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta, a French puppet drowning in corruption while jihadists ran wild. Burkina Faso's 2022 double coup birthed Captain Ibrahim Traoré, a 37-year-old revolutionary who's become Africa's shining star. Niger's 2023 coup ousted Mohamed Bazoum, whose Western ties couldn't stop insurgents or poverty. These weren't power grabs, they were lifelines for nations choking on betrayal. Now, East Africa's feeling the heat. Kenya's Gen Z stormed Nairobi's streets in 2024 against Ruto's tax hikes, chanting for justice. Uganda's youth simmer under Museveni's 40-year grip, their voices stifled but their anger boiling. But Tanzania, it's a tinderbox ready to explode. President Samia Suluhu Hassan, once hailed as a reformer, has fallen into the same trap as her CCM predecessors. Billions of shillings are flooding her 2025 election campaign, giant billboards clogging Dar's skyline, influencers shilling on X for fat checks, village chiefs bribed with sacks of cash to deliver votes. While hospitals in Morogoro lack bandages, schools in Arusha lack chalk, and fishermen on Lake Tanganyika can't afford fuel. Inflation's gutting the shilling. Youth unemployment's a ticking bomb. Over 30% of Tanzanian youth are jobless, per 2024 IGORJLO stats. The anger's no longer a murmur, it's a roar, amplified by Tesha's video now at 5.7 million views and climbing. Hashtags like #CaptainTeshaSpeaks are trending from Kampala to Cape Town, with Gen Z leading the charge, their smartphones blazing with memes, rants and calls to action. Why does this hit so hard? Because Tanzania's politics are a mirror of Africa's sickness. The opposition, Chadema, TACT, ACT Wazalendo, is silenced like a radio switched off. Freeman Mbowe, Chadema's firebrand, is jailed on flimsy treason charges. Tundu Lissu survived a 2017 assassination attempt. 16 bullets fired at his car, only to be exiled, his voice muffled from afar. Rallies are banned, journalists beaten or bribed, social media throttled during election seasons. CCM's ruled since 1977, turning democracy into a one-party charade, doling out ministries like candy to loyalists, buying judges, arming police to crush dissent. The deep state Tesha exposed, Kikwete, Aziz, Abdul, Mombo, is a hydra with tentacles in every institution, selling off Tanga's port to Dubai, Gator's gold to Canada, even the air we breathe to whoever pays. This is what fuels the rage. Billions for Samia's campaign, while Maasai families are evicted from Ngorongoro, their homes bulldozed for safari lodges. while churches like Father Kitima's in Dodoma are shuttered for preaching truth, while critics vanish into the night, their families left with nothing but questions. Tesha's demand for a military takeover isn't lunacy. It's a last-ditch effort to stop the bleeding, to force dialogue, to give the Constitution back to the people. He quotes Article 18, your right to free speech, and Article 39, your right to a free vote, like a warrior wielding a machete. If Samia keeps ignoring the cries, keeps rigging the vote, keeps abducting critics, Tanzania could join West Africa's coup belt. The signs are screaming. Soldiers muttering in barracks, Gen Z plotting on X, market women in Kariakou whispering rebellion over their stalls. A real coup attempt isn't a question of if, but when, unless the rot's cut out now. Let's talk about why we're cheering soldiers like Tesha, not suits like Samia. Africa's Democrats slither into power on rivers of blood and bribes. Stolen ballots, murdered rivals, silenced press. Nigeria's elections are a rigging industry. Zimbabwe's ZANU-PF wrote the playbook on voter intimidation. But military leaders, they're stealing the spotlight, not because they're perfect, but because they're doing what politicians won't. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso's lion, is the gold standard. Since his September 2022 coup, he's been a to the old order. He kicked out French troops, ending decades of neo-colonial meddling that kept Burkina on its knees. He nationalised gold mines in Koudougou, using the revenue to build 3,500 new classrooms, 1,800 clinics, and 400 irrigation systems in 2024, per Burkina's Ministry of Economy. Youth programmes? He's trained 15,000 in agro-tech, 8,000 in solar engineering, 5,000 in local textile production, giving kids from villages a future that doesn't involve begging in a Ouagadougou streets. Corruption? He's jailed 47 tycoons, seized their private jets, clawed back $2.8 billion from Swiss and Cayman accounts, per AES financial reports. His alliance of Sahel states, Mali, Burkina, Niger, is a game changer, ditching the CFA franc for a currency that doesn't bow to Paris. Is he flawless? Hell no. Press freedom's taken hits, with 3 journalists detained in 2024, and some call him authoritarian. But in Ouagadougou, people dance in the streets, paint his face on every wall, sing his name in bars. From Lagos to Lusaka, he's a hero. T-shirts in Accra's Makola market, murals in Bamako's Medina Kura, TikToks in Kinshasa's Gombe district. He shames the Samias, the Rutos, the Mnangagwas, leaders who jet to Davos, sipping champagne with billionaires while their people eat dust. Tanzania's elite should be trembling, because Traoré's shadow stretches all the way to the Indian Ocean. Captain Tesha, he's Tanzania's Traoré in waiting, a man who's thrown away everything, his captaincy, his pension, likely his freedom, to defend his people. The TBDF disowned him on October the 5th, issuing a cold statement, we follow the Constitution, not individuals. But whispers from the barracks say he's in hiding, protected by comrades who share his rage but not his guts. In a country where dissent is a death sentence, Mbawe jailed, Lissu exiled, Chadema's offices raided weekly, his stand is seismic. He's warned Samia directly. Keep rigging elections, keep abducting critics, keep selling the nation, and the military might have no choice but to act.